Hi, I'm Nic Harris. I'm head teacher of First Primary School in Castle Bromwich. When you work for Birmingham, you will have the opportunity of working for a school larger than average and with a whole diversity of cultures. A couple of tips when you do actually apply. First of all, it's very important that you visit the school prior to giving your application in. That way you will get a first impression of what type of school it is that you're going to be applying to, and it'll give you an idea if that's the sort of place where you want to visit 5 days a week for however long you intend to stay there. It's good to go in and talk to the teachers, talk to the head, take a good look around and look at the type of pupils that go to the school, and first of all decide, is that somewhere you want to work? The first hurdle, of course, is the interview. One of the main things you need to get right in order to get an interview is your letter of application. When a head teacher is looking through applications, and remember sometimes there may be 50 or 60 just for one job, they will look through applications and form 3 piles. They will tend to be a definite no, a maybe, and a yes, we like the look of this candidate. You need to make sure that by your letter of application you get yourself into the yes, we like the look of this candidate. Your application needs to be confident, it needs to be relevant to the school that you are applying for, so by having that first visit you will know the type of thing you need to put in your application. Of course then, if you're lucky enough to get an interview, that's your final hurdle. At the interview, again, you need to be confident. You should have rehearsed some of the answers to questions that you can expect to get, and it's a good idea to perhaps practice this with a friend or colleague. Last year, at first we were in a position where we needed 4 NQTs, and I think we had a total of around about 70 or 80 applications. Obviously that's quite a difficult job, sifting through them and making the final decisions on shortlists. One of the lucky ones was Sam Lake, who we appointed to a Year 4 class, and she started work in September. Sam was an NQT. How's it been?
Well, I'd just like to first of all reinforce what you were saying about the interview process and the importance of visiting the school before you actually make your application, because as well as the school finding out whether you are suitable, you need to find out whether you're suitable for that school, because I visited 8 or 9 different schools, but out of all of those I didn't put in applications for every one, because there's some, as soon as you go through the door or as you're walking around, you know yourself whether you're going to be comfortable enough to work in that school, and luckily this is one of them. And obviously the whole reinforcing that when you have an interview you need to practice the questions that you're going to be asked, because I know I did it with my dad. We found a website with all different questions and went through one, and luckily enough some of the questions that you asked me were some that I'd reinforced and practiced at home, because if I hadn't...
You cheated.
Yeah, because if I hadn't, I think the whole fear would get the better of you. You just sit there and stare at them. There's nothing worse than having the 3 interviewers looking at you and you're sort of just thinking, oh my goodness, I don't know what on earth to say. But when I did finally get the job, going on to my very first day, that feeling, you know, you can't compare it to anything else. After going through your degree for so many years and looking after somebody else's class, that feeling on September, for me personally, when the children walk through the door and you think, oh my goodness, they're my children, there is no other teacher there, you know, you can't beat it. And obviously not having a teacher there, if there's anything you need to ask, you need to think on your feet and stuff, and that's been one of the hardest things, but also one of the best, learning to sort of cope with these situations and take on the full responsibility of being a teacher. To help with that, you do get a mentor, and I was lucky enough because we have a 2-form entry school here, so the other Year 4 teacher is my mentor, which proves very useful. So if there are any problems, you know, you never feel like you're on your own, because obviously you've got the head, the deputy heads, and obviously your mentor, which is always there as a ring of support around you, and you never feel like you're alone. So even if you're really stressed out, there is always someone you can go to. So I think that's one of the joys of working in the Birmingham schools, really. Yeah.
And more importantly, have you been happy in your first year?
Yes, I have, and surprisingly unstressed actually for an NQT year. I feel relatively calm actually. I haven't had a freak out yet.
which I think just reinforces that you have to do all those things to make sure you're going for the right school.
Yeah, and be organised. That's one of the things as well. If you're not organised before, you need to be then, because it soon mounts up if you're not.
Organised and you in the same sentence?
Yes. I'm extremely organised. Most of the time. Birmingham, to finish, is a very exciting and supportive place to work, and if you are lucky enough to get a job in Birmingham, then I wish you all the success and luck in your future career.
Thank you, Sam.
Yes.
There you go, that's one of our NQTs, and we were fortunate that out of 4 NQTs that we started in September, we've been very lucky with all 4 of them. But I think a lot of that goes down to the filtering process that we went through to start with. If you do intend to apply for Birmingham, and I would encourage you to do so, very best of luck. Remember all the things that we've said.
Thank you.
All the best.